What's going on? It's the Rap Nerd, and I just got out of seeing Fast X or Fast 10, whatever you want to call it. It's the 10th entry in this continuity of the franchise, and I can definitely say that I enjoyed myself. I was very, very entertained, way more than Fast 9. Fast 9 kind of did me so dirty, I almost didn't want to see this, but I'm glad I overstepped that feeling and went to see this film because it was pretty entertaining. I don't know if I could say good because we classify good differently, but for what the franchise is, this was a good entry in it, and I enjoyed it. So, a little story time before I get to the review. When Fast 7 released, and I didn't watch any movies past that. I think when Paul Walker passed, I wasn't at the point where I could move on to the next one because I just felt like I should have just kind of slowed down on them. But Hollywood does what it does. They're going to keep it going and keep it moving, and they were respectful about it. So when Fast 10, the trailer dropped, it really reeled me in, and I was like, you know what? I do want to see this, so let me backtrack and go watch 8 and 9. So watch 8. Liked it. It was pretty much what I expected from a Fast franchise at that point in time when the movie released. Then we moved to 9, and I didn't like 9 at all. I felt like it took the go bigger too far, and I think it tried to be like something it wasn't in a couple of different ways. I feel like it leaned into the ridiculousness a little too much, like sending a car strapped to a rocket into space. It was just too much. And then the whole world ending thing with the magnets, I was like, this is not it. This ain't it. So that almost turned me off, but I'm glad I went to go see the film because I feel like this is in line with what the franchise is. Not really like this world destruction type thing they try to do in number 9. It's always been they go to do a job, and the job goes wrong. They end up dealing with somebody they're not supposed to deal with, and shit just goes out of hand, and this is the same type of thing. I really, really enjoyed Jason Momoa as the villain. I think he was a nice flavor of villain to add to this franchise. He's definitely one of my favorites within this whole franchise. I'm saying franchise a lot, but gotta speak on this 10 movies in this mug, so you gotta compare somewhere. But I think he was really, really good, a really great villain. I think he stole the show every time he was on camera. I could tell it to him to ham it up and just go wild and do what you want to do. He's pretty much just Jason Momoa, but as a villain. That's all he is, He does terrible things, and he just kind of laughs at people as he does it. He was doing absurd things to dead bodies, and he's just over the top, but I think it's good. He's almost like a Saturday cartoon villain in a Saturday morning cartoon or something. Like the stuff that he was doing and the way he was talking. And one thing about Jason that he always brings to a role is the physicality. Like, you really believe everything that's going on when it comes to him. You can believe he can drive these cars. You believe that he's a physical force. You believe that he can fight. You believe he can throw bombs and grenades. Like, he just has this certain physicality about him. So he's a big dude, and he's a very physical guy. So whatever he does translates well on camera, and he's been the most believable out of all the villains for sure. When you're first introduced to him, like, they kind of do the flashback at the beginning of the movie to show where he came from, because like these movies tend to do, and as the entries move forward, they're gonna pick somebody who is connected to the past. So no change here. I'm not gonna spoil what that was, but it was a really good surprise because it stems from one of my favorite films in the franchise, so I was happy to see where it came from, and I think that alone made me more invested. But I said they showed a flashback to show who he is and who he is to Dom and all of them, and then we reintroduced to him in the present time, and the way he comes off, you can just tell he's not for the games. I like how he showed that he's a step above Charlize's character. Like, you think you're a badass? Nah, let me show you what we do and how we work. And I just found that introduction to be really, really dope. So he was a really great villain. As we've seen in all these films, is some good action. I think Fast 7 set the standard for what action is in this franchise. Like, at this higher level, Juan in his choreography killed it, so you have to do it here. And there were some really good fight sequences, with all the characters. There's a one-off between Michelle Rodriguez, Lenny, and Charlotte. I forgot what Charlize's character's name. I forgot, but there's a nice, really cool one-off between the two. That some good-ass choreography. It was a dope-ass fight, and I just love how that fight was introduced and stuff that Lenny was saying. I was like, she's about to fight her. So they had a really good scene. Jason Statham, of course, came through, kicked ass as usual. even Han and who was it? Was it Han? It was Han had a great scene. Who else was it with? There's some good action. I'll say that. There's definitely some good action. I like that they had a scene to bring it back to like um the basis of what the franchise built. Like there's like a race scene that's just really reminiscent of what it used to be, and I'm glad that they did that. But they were able to inject some of the newer action-esque pieces to that part. So it was fun to see that. I love that. There's a few Easter eggs all throughout. I like the new addition to the characters, and again, kudos to the writers. And it's not, some of it's not the best writing as as far as story goes, but they're able to add these characters conveniently, through relation, and then it's kind of like you don't really know who they're related to or how they came to be, but the writer somehow finds a way to intertwine everyone. Oh, that's who it is. Dom's sister. What is her name? I forgot what her name is, but Dom's sister has some really good action pieces. John Cena showed up again, being his brother. Really good fight choreography. That's one thing I can say. I think this might have the next best fight choreography next to 7. Still think 7 is just next level, but they really did a good job with that here, and I like that the focus was a lot on that, opposed to just doing a bunch of wild shit. Even though you still get the crazy car chases, like the third act car chase with the shit that Dom did in his car was just ridiculous, but it's a believable ridiculous. Like I think they reeled it in. I think Fast 9 they were trying to go like as big as possible, and to me it didn't work. So I think they was like, let's reel this back in a little bit. So did like that. And excuse me, I haven't mentioned any negatives, but the movie's not perfect at all. I think it's a bit messy. It's a lot going on. Like the characters kind of break into different places, and you're having like 4 or 5 different stories going along at one time, and you got the main continuity with Dom dealing with Jason's character, and then these other, group here is doing this group here is doing that, so it does get a little messy, but it's for a reason, because for those who don't know, I don't know how many people know this, but there's going to be 3 parts to this. So that's not a spoiler, but that's preparation for you, just in case you're wondering, like, okay, when is this going to end? Because I was watching this film with the mindset of like, this is just the one and done. This is it. That's all. And I'm like, we got to be about 2 hours in. Where are we ending at it? Like the movie just kept going and going and going, and then this one next big thing happens, and I'm just like, how the fuck are we gonna fit, an hour more movie? We're already here for 2 hours, but then it cuts and it's like, oh, okay. And that made me be like, this has to be a 2-parter. So then I looked it up and saw that it's 3 parts. So just forewarning y'all out there, like this is not like a complete story. So I'm giving them grace with that, because this is a big story, and I'm pretty sure the other parts are gonna be 2.5 hours. So just forewarning you there. I really enjoyed it. I think they went back to the basis of what these movies were, and I was focusing on the character moments. I remember I was talking to my man D about that, the character moments of them interacting, and that more than just trying to go big, because we love the characters, honestly. Like they as Vin Diesel said, family, and that's the same thing here. So I really enjoy seeing the growth and all of this crazy shit that they did, and the character interactions. Really liked it. So definitely say I was pleasantly surprised, and I enjoyed myself. I can put this in my favorites of the year. I would definitely rewatch this again, and I do want to grab it on Blu-ray. Not gonna front. So anyway, if you've seen Fast X, what did you think about it? Where do you rank it? What do you compare it to 9? Where are you at with it? So if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thanks. Helps me out a lot, and more content to come. So until next time, peace. Rap Nerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.